Name's Roger Boaty. Mr. George Roger Boaty.
Oh, hello, darlings. I know this is very unexpected. I know I don't do live streams on a Friday, but tonight I thought I would for a couple of reasons. One is that I'm feeling quite splendid, so I thought I would share some splendidness with you, but also because, quite frankly, darlings, I feel somewhat guilty. Now, today, I think you would probably agree with me when I say, not blowing my own rusty trombone in any way, shape or form, but I would say that I am quite a prolific YouTuber, in that, not in the sense that I do anything that's any good or of any value or worth, but I do put a lot of my shit out there. You know, it's not unknown for me to put 3 or 4 videos out per day. I'm up to, I'll soon be knocking on the door of my 1000th video. So I put a lot of stuff out there. I am really prolific. I'm not discerning. I don't care what I put out there. I mean, God knows, I'm the man who's done Boaty's bogs. And at least that's a bit, you know, out of the mundane. But, you know, I'm a terrible tart. I'll put anything on there. And again, I think you might agree with me. Pardon me, I'm going to have a slurp. It's my first slurp. I'm 35 minutes behind my normal slurping schedule. Oh God, that sounds like something Mustard would do at this time. Oh dear, don't even think about that. Clear your minds, darlings. Did I actually have that slurp then? I don't think I did I? Never mind, I'll have it now. Slurp ahoy. There we are. Excellent. Yeah, and I think you would agree with me when I say that probably the other most prolific YouTuber is a certain Mr. Lloyd of Lloyd Vehicle Consulting. So you would think when the 2 most prolific YouTubers come together, there would be footage aplenty. And guess how much there is? 0. Zip, zip, zilch, nada, nout, bugger all. Not a single millisecond of footage was footaged today. Yeah, nothing. We filmed nothing. He didn't even go and look at the cars, and I didn't go and look at his. I just sat here and he sat there, and we just talked and laughed and had a jolly good afternoon. So much so that time completely ran away, and I was rather late leaving for work. I suddenly realised time, said, shit, I should have gone 20 minutes ago. And then it was like a bloody Laurel and Hardy film with the 2 of us trying to get out the door together. So yeah, I feel a little bit guilty about that, but I've got loads of other stuff to share with you. Let's just see who I've got. Cheeseburger's here and says he's not on a promise tonight. Then yeah, chance would be a fine thing. Mustard is here. Now I don't know if he's in pre-podger, mid-podger or post-podger, but he's here, and he says this is a treat, and it's a treat for us as well, Mustard. Oh, Skick is here and says, well done, Bo. Bernard is apparently here. Let's have a look at Bernard's channel, shall we? Go to channel. Well, oh dear God. Well, I would just like to put on record that whoever this is a picture of, I have never slept with them. Okay, just making that absolutely clear. Thank you so much. Where did I get to? Diddly-do. Yeah, well done, Boat, says Skick. I'm not sure, but thank you for doing a live. I get you. I bet he has Oh, Cheeseburger! I bet he has kidnapped the beige bomber, except he didn't say the beige bomber, did he? Oh, Cheeseburger. Cheeseburger, credit where it's due. You are the ultimate master of first division shithousery. And You don't get much higher praise than that. Anyway, Bernard says hello all, so let's all say hello to Bernard. I have not kidnapped the beige bomber. He has vacated the premises. Although, no, I can't say that. Hello, Skick, says Mustard. I missed you today. Oh, God. Was he not on your live, Mustard? I'm sorry I missed your live as well. I was too busy doing something, well, better, quite frankly. No, I'm joking. I'm joking. Your lives are wonderful. I'm sure it was splendid, and I'm sure I missed something great, and it's my loss. Hey, Mustard, says Skick. I can't find them cars on Facebook. They're definitely on there, Skick. I've seen them all myself. Although, you snooze, you lose. One of them is already sold. So there's only 3 on there now. One down, 3 to go. And we'll be talking about that because next week is going to be mad. Evening all, says Bad Books. Neighbours still on holiday then? Yes, they are indeed. You are a prolific something, says Cheeseburger. Yes. Skick says, how come my boiled ham comment never got read? Well, multiple reasons really, Skick. I mean, 1 is it's offensive. 2 is it's sexist. And 3, it would get me demonetized. Video title, Bonus Slurp. Oh, I quite like that one. Let's screenshot that. A surprise good evening, Boaty, says Jimmy Quinn. And Ross is here. Well, hello, this is a treat. Oh, and Mustard is properly here. Oh, excellent. What? Right, here we go. Cleveland Brown Jr. is right in our midst. And they say, hello all. Okay then, back to basics. Grab your shell toes and your fat laces, a little hand clap for some funk faces, and make your body move in the following places. Back to base, heads, dance like you just won at the Special Olympics. They got the rude box off the back of a spaceship. So sick, I just had to take it, the rude box. What in the name of Bernard's bum cheeks is all that in aid of? Not a clue. Simone is here. Good evening, Floaty. And good evening to you, Simone. Oh, sorry, no. She said, good evening, Floaty. Because that's how Simone speaks. Saturday morning lying in, says Ross. Excellent. Up your... What? Bloody hell. Dear me. Chris Mills is here and says, evening, catching you in your time zone for a change. You are indeed. And Chris Mills, this Chris Mills, we did have another Chris Mills. I think I was keeping him as a spare in case this one got damaged in some way. But regular viewers of this absolute nonsense will be aware that Chris Mills, a chap who now lives in Australia, was my best friend at school. And rather wonderfully, he is in the United Kingdom. Unfortunately for him, he's currently in Preston, but we all have our crosses to bear. And he is heading back down south. Sorry, I'm just having a bit of a scratch there. And, a bit of nipple activity. Wonderful, you can't beat it on a Friday night. He's making his way back down to the slightly more civilised area of the West Midlands tomorrow. And he's coming for lunch. Yes, darlings. Shall I do a video? I'll have to make sure he's okay with it, but I could do a lunch video. I haven't done a lunch video for ages. What with one thing and another. We've either been off collecting cars or delivering cars, or there's a load of us there and we just went to the chippy. It'd be nice to do a lunch video. But Chris is coming round to catch up. I haven't seen him for, God almighty, how old am I now? Probably the same age as him, really. So hang on, let me work this out. That's a bit of mental arithmetic. 32 plus 36 years. I've not seen this chap for 36 years. And he's going to be rocking up here at Windy Bum at around the 12:30 mark tomorrow, possibly a bit later if traffic is bad. And I'm going to give him a rather splendid Momo lunch. And we're going to have a jolly good catch-up. And, God, I mean, Well, it's going to be bloody hard, isn't it? We've got a whole life to catch up on. I mean, we have chatted via chatty messenger thingamybobby, but that's not quite the same, is it? So yeah, that's going to be quite surreal. It'll be, it might be interesting for you guys to get an insight into what I was actually like as a kid, because I could have been lying to you, and he might tell you that that I was the most unpopular kid in the whole of the school. A hopeless thicko who was bottom of the class at everything. Oh dear. It'll be really interesting. I'm really looking forward to it. So, safe journey, Chris, and I'll see you at lunchtime tomorrow. First division, I'm Champions League, says Cheeseburger. Yeah, but the thing is, right, I'm not into football, and the last time that I did give any kind of degree of a flying shit about football, there wasn't a thingamy. First division that was it. That was your top draw. So all of these other divisions, they're a bit beyond me, I'm afraid, Cheesy. So no offence. Please don't be offended. I consider you to be the Grand Master of Shithousery. And you can have that as a title. Are you in the Facebook group? If you're in the Facebook group, I will give you, because I can do that in the Facebook group, I can give people special group positions, and you can be the Grand Master of Shithousery, because that's what you are. I want to keep my lovely Toby, says Mustard. Then keep him, dear boy, keep him. We will redouble our efforts to sell everything else, and you can keep dear old Toby Charles. You can't sell him. I haven't done a review on him yet. We've got a plan. One Monday, we're going to do a double review. Well, we're not. We're going to do 2 individual reviews. He's going to review Dick-a-Dum-Dum, and I'm going to review Toby Charles. But if we kind of do it together, we can help each other out with drive-by shootings and that sort of thing. So yeah, we'll make sure you keep him, Mustard. Don't worry. We'll flog off the rest of the crap. I mean, we're 1 down. That's a start. Oh, did they come and see the caravan, by the way? Am I losing my lovely Roger Botty? You see, you don't want to lose your lovely Toby. I don't want to lose my lovely Roger Botty. Oh dear. A Friday Night Live, says Joe. What a treat. And it's a treat to have you here then. And then Cleveland Brown Jr. throws in some more lyrics that are slightly dodgy. Bad Book says skip. The technical term is... And I bet he doesn't read this out either. Please keep Toby, Paul, says Joe. Insubordination. Skick is claiming it's insubordination that I don't read out a comment that'll get me monetised and lose me my 15 pence fee for doing this. Friday Night Live, who does he think he is? Jimmy Fallon? Yeah, over my head, don't know who that is. I take it he's somebody, he sounds American. Let me guess, right? I've got no clue, but educated guess or ill-educated guess. I'm guessing that he's an American person and he hosts a show called Friday Night Live. There used to be a show, God, was it? I think it was Saturday Night Live, wasn't it? An American type show that was quite good back in the day. So I play my boogie for the people of this city, but they don't go crazy when I'm banging all my boogie. Oh dear, what a rotten thing. Imagine playing your boogie for the people of your city and they don't go crazy when you're banging your boogie. I mean, that's a terrible thing, Cleveland Brown Jr., and you have all of our sympathy. Don't open the door when Chris turns up, says Cheeseburger. You owe him a Mars bar. Do I? I probably do. I probably owe him £1,000 or something. God knows. Oh dear. It's going to be so much fun. Well, at least I think it is. We'll tell you all about our epic day on the Cobra at the West Midlands Safari Park. And no doubt we'll reminisce about some teachers and other people. I mean, I don't keep in touch with anybody from school. Literally nobody. Not a single person. I've not done any school reunions or anything like that. I've not done... The only connection I've had with school since I left, I've got 2 connections. Chris, if you're still watching, I've got 2 connections. One is that I dated a girl whose father was best friends with Ralph Richardson, our headmaster, Chris, as I'm sure you don't need reminding, Mr. Richardson. And on several occasions, I had both lunch and dinner with Mr. Richardson, with my ex-headmaster. And he was, to be fair, he was jolly good company. These were like lunch party and dinner party things at Beth's parents'. And he was jolly good company. A very nice chap, actually, very nice chap indeed. And the only other connection I've got with school is I slept with one of my teachers some years after leaving. What I never did, annoyingly, is I never slept with any of the hottest girls at school that I wouldn't have stood a chance with when I was at school, because I didn't have a clue. You know, I didn't know anything about girls. I've already admitted to you that I was undoubtedly the UK's oldest virgin. I came rather late to all of that sort of shenanigans. You know, tried to make up for it since. But yeah, so I'm not in touch, and I've never been in touch with anybody else from school. When I trundled away from school, with those 2 exceptions that I've just told you in full frank honesty, and don't bring Frank into this, Frankenfurter. Yeah, I just walked away, and I've probably seen people from school. Oh God, yeah. I knocked about with Ricky French and Paul French and Carl Longbeard a bit, and I wasn't friends with them at school. They were the rough boys, and I wasn't a rough boy at school. I was, well, I think I was a bit of a swat, wasn't I, Chris? Was I a swat or a geek or... Oh, I don't know. We'll sort all this out tomorrow. Let's not talk about football, says Mustard. Always a good plan in my book. Cheeseburger says, I don't do Facebook. I left it 15 years ago, 3 years before it started. Oh, well done. Joe says, oh, what cars sold? The Streetwise Joe. Dorothy, why the hell did he call it? What a crap name for a car. Dorothy. Oh, we did this, didn't we? We had a Dorothy off. Anyway, I'm glad the bloody thing sold with that name, Dorothy. Dorothy, please trim your no, dear, oh dear, I've got that song in my head now. Yeah, Dorothy is sold, and myself and Captain Mustard, oh dear, I agreed to this before I worked out the details. We're delivering the bloody thing to Norwich on Wednesday. Now, for those of you who don't know, Norwich is quite a long way from here. And in a way, it's going to be worse for Mustard than for me. In another way, it's not, because at least when he goes home, he's home. I've got to go to work afterwards. But Norwich is a 4-hour drive. So, and that's 4 hours, assuming that everything goes well. So you've got to allow time for the car to be handed over. We'll have to stop for fuel, whatnot, possible traffic delays. So realistically, we need to allow 8.5 to 9 hours. Now, I need to be back here for 5 o'clock. And so take 9 hours away from 5, or call it 17. Take 9 away from 17, and you've got... and you and you've got 8. So that means that in theory, we need to leave here, Windy Bum, at like 8 o'clock, 8:15, 8:30 at the very latest. Excuse me. And that's pushing it. In the morning. And, you know me. When do you ever see me at 8:30 in the morning? Be glad you don't. It's not a pretty sight. But then think about poor Mustard. Because if he wants to get here at 8 o'clock in the morning, he needs to leave at 6:30. And that's assuming the car's at home. If he's got to go to the yard, he's going to need to leave home before 6 o'clock in the morning. That's horrendous. So it is kind of worse for him. He's going to have a longer journey. But I've got to go to work after all of that. So, it's going to be a bit of an insane day. But we'll have a jolly good laugh and we'll try and get some content out of it. Probably do a live on the way back because we'll be going down in 2 cars, coming back in 1. So might do a live, get some content on the way down, have just have a jolly good laugh really. But we're really going to be up against it for time, and that's going to be the second fairly major road trip of the week, because on Monday we're off to Llandudno, and that one is going to be worse for me, because I've got to go from here to the yard, pick Mustard up, and then we'll be taking 1 car to Llandudno and coming back in 2. But at least on that day, it's Monday, so I haven't got to get to work. So that'll be a little bit more relaxed. It's Llandudno, it's a happy place. We can record some content, share some, we always have a bloody good laugh when we do a road trip. Probably do a live, get an hour's live in there somewhere as well. Attention-seeking behaviour. So yeah, 2 mad road trips within the week, and that's so far. Who knows? Something else could sell. Those beautiful cars are perched there on Facebook Marketplace, incredibly well priced and ready to go at any moment. No, they didn't, said Mustard. No idea what that's about. Here we are. Check it out, open brackets, yeah, close brackets. Junior, M-A-F-I-A, open brackets, he, close brackets, open brackets, I like this, close brackets, yeah, 9 foe, open brackets, keep banging, close brackets. And, I think we'd all agree with that. Don't sell the caravan, it's brilliant for the yard. Don't tell me that, Joe. I don't want to sell the caravan. I will be devastated if the caravan goes. But ultimately, it's not my yard. It's the good Captain Mustard's yard. He pays for the yard, and ultimately, it's his decision about what is allowed to be in the yard and what is not. And if he decides that it's absolute madness to have a nice, warm, dry caravan that can provide heat and shelter and a nice table to eat your lunch on, if he would rather go back to last winter of having a windswept, desolate yard with nowhere to eat, so cold that you lose feeling in your hands and your toes and you end up sitting in a car with the engine running for an hour. So yeah, if he decides that not doing another winter like that and not having that nice, relatively compact little refuge that could be nicely connected up to the electricity, if it was moved down past the lavatory of last resort, could be plugged into the electricity, could have a microwave in there, the gas is connected up to the cooker, could cook in there, heat, somewhere to go and dry out on those winter's days when you get absolutely soaking wet. If he thinks that is all madness, then that is his call to make. And I'm not in a position to object to it in any way, shape or form. And I'm not. I've told him, your yard, your decision. But I will be devastated to see that go. I think it's a cool little thing. I think it would be really useful over the winter. I think in the future it could be a cool feature if we did some stuff with it, but hey ho, there we are. There we are. John Stoodley is here and says, hey chat, hey Boaty. Hello to you, John. Cheeseburger's not talking to you apparently. Saturday Night Live was Johnny Carson. Oh, I'm getting him mixed up. Did we have one in the UK then? Did we have a Saturday Night Live here? Or a Friday Night Live? We did, didn't we? We had a Friday Night Live, or a Saturday Night Live. It was Ben Elton, wasn't it? Ben Elton hosted it. Harry Enfield did his, that's where Stavros was, the kebab man, and loads of money and all of that. And that brilliant sketch with Stephen Fry and Meatloaf of all people. Hey, you badass motherfucker. I'm a real heavy dude with a blade, man. I'm gonna cut your ass. I'm sorry. And he was trying to translate it. Right, sir, I'm a fat person with a kitchen knife. I'm going to slice your bottom. That was brilliant. I loved that show. The last thing I ever want to do, says Ross, is to catch up with people from my school every 10 years. Okay, fair enough. Ralph, says Chris, that cape will live on. Yeah, Ralph, the lovely Mr. Richardson, he's gone now, bless him, he's passed away. He was, the thing about Ralph that I always thought, now you've got to bear in mind that school that both Chris and I attended was what is termed a secondary modern, in a predominantly council estate area in a new town called Redditch in Worcestershire, the very north of Worcestershire, almost heading into the West Midlands. It had a B postcode, and I always got the feeling with Ralph that he felt that he should be headmaster of a rather select and exclusive public school, rather than a rather, forgive me, shitty secondary modern. So he clung to certain things that were somewhat out of step with the school of which he was headmaster. So he used to wear his headmaster's cape. And I can remember him, he had a thing about boys leaving the school on the lunch break and going into the local shopping centre at Maxborough Centre to buy chips or pornographic magazines or cigarettes. And he used to stalk around the centre with his cape billowing out behind him. And he used to wear the headgear as well. And he had quite, well, in his head, with his headmaster's hat on, he seemed to have quite oh no, he's just winding you up, mate. Don't. It's just a wind up. It's Cheeseburger. That's what he does. Don't take it like that, please. Yeah, he had quite an innate sense of his own self-importance. I mean, away from school, when I eventually met him after school, he was nothing like that at all. He was, he was quite a serious man, I suppose. And he was most definitely an academic man. But he was, as I say, he was good company, and I would say he was a good egg, a decent chap. But yeah, he was kind of a headmaster that seemed slightly out of step with the school of which he was in charge. Not a bad fellow though. I think even at school he had a bit of a soft spot for me because he could never remember my name, but he always called me the chap who can speak French, because I loved French. And I studied French outside of school because, you know, I planned to make my career on the continent as a cyclist. And French was going to be important, so I studied it outside of school as well as in school. And good old Ralph came into our French class for some reason to give a message to the teacher, something of that nature. Jesus Christ. Really? Really, Mustard? Really? Oh, God. Oh, dear Christ. I'm going to screenshot that and put it in the Facebook group, you hairy pervert, you. Yeah, good old Ralph came into French class, and he came out with a relatively, he came out with a French phrase within conversation. He broke into French. He is actually, or he was, a relatively fluent French speaker. And I can't remember it exactly. I'd have to Google it. But it was something along the lines of nous en tuer l'admiral pour encourager les autres. Something of that nature. And I was the only person who understood what he was talking about. So from then on, for the rest of my school days, I was that boy who could speak French. Pour tuer l'admiral pour encourager les autres. Basically, it was, it's a phrase, oh God, I haven't thought about that phrase for 32 years. It's a phrase meaning that you kill the person in charge to bring all of the others into line. If you've ever been caught in a street fight situation where you're on your own and there's a few of them, then that French phrase applies. I was always taught, you pick the biggest one or the mouthiest one, or if you're in, you know, if you're in a fight or flight situation and flight for whatever reason isn't an option, they run faster than you or something, or there's too many of them, then you pick the admiral to discourage the others. So you pick the biggest one, the mouthiest one, or the most aggressive one. Give them a good smack somewhere that's going to cause a load of blood or something. So, you know, give them a good wallop on the nose so there's a good gush of blood, and then hopefully the others will back away. If they don't, you're in trouble. And you might have to die. Well, you wouldn't back in my day because you didn't die in street fights. Nobody was armed. These days, you know, you might, I suppose, because apparently everybody's carrying knives. I'm quite glad I'm old and well past that sort of thing. Good old Ralph. I hope he had a good life. I really enjoyed having that fleeting element of a social relationship with him in the post-school period. Dear. How's your day been, asked Joe. It's been lovely, Joe. It's been absolutely lovely. I've done nothing. I just, Joseph came round, we hung out, we had a great time, and that's it. And then I went to work. We were having such a good time, I didn't even eat lunch. I didn't even think about it. Awfully, I didn't offer Joseph any lunch, so I hope he ate before he came here, because God knows neither of us ate here. So yeah, no lunch, darlings. When do I not have lunch? Never happens. Savaloy challenge, I've got an update. So I didn't eat at all today, apart from my morning slice of heavily buttered toast, don't you know? So when I went to work tonight, first chance I got, I went to a local chippy and I got a Savaloy and a tub of curry sauce. And I didn't plan to get a Savaloy. I was going to get a small battered sausage and a tub of curry sauce. That's what I fancied. No chips or anything, because it was too late, you know. It's much too late to have a meal. But I thought a battered sausage with salt and vinegar on it and a tub of curry sauce, that would do me just nicely. And that'll see me through till supper. And when I went into the fish and chippery, where I've never been before, they had saveloys. So I thought, well, I'll have one of those. I'll scratch that itch. I will complete the saveloy challenge. And so I had saveloy in a small tub of curry sauce, £2.90. Sorry, is that right? Hang on, let me just check my change. Right, so I got £1.65 there. No, £3.90. £3.90. Oh no, yes, no, £2.90. £2.90. Sorry, it was £2.90. But £2.90 for a saveloy and a small tub of curry sauce. And the saveloy, I have to say, was disappointing. Doubly disappointing. It was disappointing because having not eaten one for 30 years, I suddenly remembered what they were like, and they're not very nice actually, especially not without chips. And this particular one, it had been left to warm on one side or something without being, I don't know what it was, but there was like 2/3 of the way down it, there was a hard ridge that was most unpalatable indeed. The curry sauce was nice. So I've done that now and I won't do it again. Next time I'm in that situation, it's going to be the battered sausage. A battered sausage and a tub of curry sauce. Hello sir, just a quick visit, says Buddy. Hello to you. Dorothy, says Mustard, is a lovely name. It makes me want a second wife. Bloody hell, is your first one not keeping you busy enough? Yay, I'm glad the Streetwise sold, says Joe. It was a lovely example. Yeah. Well, it was lovely-ish. It had potential to be lovely. Joseph was talking to me about Streetwise today. Apparently they are rarer than I realised. So this year the Streetwise thing and future classic and increasing prices might be more of a thing than I realised. So I'm going to put Barney up for sale. I'm going to list it on Facebook Marketplace at some point over the weekend, but I'm going to put it up for £3,000, £2,999. Oh, actually, I was going to say I'll do that to do my bit in, pushing the perceived values up. Should have done that before we put Dorothy up for sale, really. Yeah. I did have a fleeting thought. Mustard putting Toby Charles up at a... Maybe I should put mine up for sale, but all at a price, an insane price. Much more than they're worth. Just on the off chance that some daft bastard would buy one or two of them, and then I could buy a Discovery 3, which would immediately break down, would cost more to repair than I would ever able to raise, and I would end up with, one car maximum, if that, or possibly living in a tent. Just a thought. I have these mad thoughts. Norwich, says Cheeseburger, is a pit in the middle of nowhere. Yeah. It would be better, says Mustard, if I met you at one of the M1 services. Okay, how would that work? Hang on, I'm trying. Oh yeah, because we're going in two separate cars, aren't we? So there's no need for you to come here, is there? Right. Okay, I'm with you. Yeah, okay, that does actually make sense. Yeah, there's absolutely no need for you to come here, is there? Right, yes, because we're going in two cars and coming back in one. Good point. I didn't think of that. That escaped me. Except I don't want to go down the M1. I don't want to go down the M1. It's like 50 miles further. And although in theory, according to the app, it's 3 minutes quicker, you know, what are the chances of not getting 3 minutes worth of traffic on the motorway? I mean, remember the last time and we got caught in that incredible bloody tailback on the A14 or whatever it was. I want to go the other way. I want to go the way that we came back from the last trip, if you can remember that, the failed trip, the failed acquisition adventure. That's the way to go. It's 50 miles shorter. It's going to be less fuel. And even though it says it's 3 minutes longer in time, I know those roads, you know those roads, and we can make up time on those roads with a bit of enthusiastic driving. You can't do that on the motorway because there are cameras. You know, you can do 70 mile an hour max, and you and I both don't. We both tend to do 60 for economy. So I would much rather go the other way. I don't want to go down the M1 at all. I sent you the screenshot of the doings. I think it's a much better way to go, a much nicer way to go. It seems mad going all the way down the M, whatever it is. Oh, it's the M1, isn't it? Yeah. It seems mad going all the way down there and then going all the way across when we can just cut through. 3 minutes longer, 50 miles shorter. It's got to be a winner, surely. Pick Honest Deck up on your way, Mustard. Skip, you keep talking about Honest Deck. I don't know who or what Honest Deck is, and I'm not sure if Mustard does either. Do you want to tell us who this Honest Deck is? Because I ain't got a clue. If Mustard leaves home at 6:30, then he will have had a quiet night the evening before. Oh, cheeseburger. Yes, I'm the correct Bernard, lol. Well, it depends what you mean by correct Bernard, I guess. Cheeseburger, 4 hours in a car with mustard after egg sandwiches. Brave. Yeah, you've got a point. I've got my lunch for Monday sorted. I haven't got Wednesday sorted yet, but I have got Monday. It's in the freezer as we speak. I don't want to sell the caravan, says Mustard, but we want as many sales cars as possible. We need to insulate the lockup. I still think there's room for that caravan. I really do. Especially, it needs to go where we both picked out as being the ideal spot. Tucked away down beyond the lavatory of last resort, out of sight, out of mind. We could plug it into the elastic trickery and it could be a little warm refuge. Yeah, we do need as many sales cars as possible, but you know, it's not like, surely there are other things to pick on before we pick on Roger Boaty. You know, there are other cars that need clearing out of there, at least one of which is mine. I mean, Brian needs to go, bless him. We need to get Brian sorted so that we can get Brian out of your way. And if we were going to lose the caravan, let's not do it until spring. Let's at least have it for the bloody winter. I mean, that was the point of getting the bloody caravan, so that we didn't have to endure a winter like we did the last one. If push comes to, I'll pay for the space. I will pay for the space where Roger Boaty sits, although I want an electric hookup. I mean, that'd be great. Imagine if he was popped down there on the level. We actually spent a couple of days tidying him up inside, maybe a spot of paint, cleaning them out properly, using all of the cupboards properly, getting the gas set up properly so that we've got an actual kitchen, a real kitchen that we can use that will keep the caravan warm. We could cook food in there. You could cook food in there every day. We've got a decent table, decent chairs. You know, make it nice, make it a little thing. And then in the future, it would, as we discussed, it would be the sales office as well. We could have, I mean, I'm still just in love with the idea of the caravan. Not towing it around shows or anything, but it's a warm, dry, damp-free space. And just remember how bad winter was. God almighty. I mean, I love coming to the yard and I love our Mondays, but some of those days last winter were just absolute bloody frozen hell. And the caravan would make all the difference. But hey ho. Ross says, wouldn't it be possible for us all to chip in and the community buy the caravan? What's it worth? It's not a question of that, Ross. It's not a question of it needing to be bought. It's a question of Mustard says he doesn't want it there. He wants the space instead of the caravan. We haven't got to buy it necessarily. It's there. I mean, you could all chip in and pay Mustard some rent so it could be allowed to stay there. Also, says Joe, Paul seems to be using the caravan a lot when it's raining and to do lives, etc. Yeah. Oh, good night, says Simone. There we are. Ben Elton, that's it. It was. What? Oh, right. Yeah. So somebody thought they'd upset your cheeseburger, but as I said, no, they haven't. Diddly-do. Neil, hey all, sorry, missed most of it. Didn't know it was live tonight. None of us knew, Neil. It was unexpected and done on a whim. And Joe says, we all didn't know he was doing a live, Neil. Yeah, nobody knew. Cheesy, what's gone on? What have you done, you piss-taking sod? Oh no! Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it, cheeseburger. It was just when you said you weren't talking to John, and John just pinged me and said, "Oh God, I haven't upset cheeseburger, have I?" With a comment about West Bromwich Albion. I was only joking, and I said, and that's why I said, "No, don't worry about it. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine." Did you let Joseph use the bathroom? I did, cheeseburger. I did. And is there anything to report? I know what you're talking about, you hilarious but disgusting man. No, there is nothing to report. He did use the lavatory, and no, there's no. I know what you're talking about, you awfully. Oh God. When you're dealing with General Cheeseburger, you get all Dick Emery. Oh, you are awful, but I like you. No, there's nothing of that nature to report, Cheeseburger, you terrible man. Yeah. Oh, God, yeah. All the famous people that have used my lavatory now. Mustard and now Mr. Lloyd. 2 famous YouTubers have used my bog. To think my bare ass has shared a surface with both the one and only Mr. Lloyd and the one and only Captain Mustard. And so that means that vicariously, Mustard and Mr. Lloyd, they have touched bare asses. They have a bare ass surface in common. And in fact, I'm going to set up a club that none of you can be part of, the Bare Arse Cheek Touching Club. And so far, there are only, oh, hang on. How many members are there of the Bare Arse Touching Club? There's me, there's Joseph, there's Mustard. Who else has used that bog? Craig, Bernard, Boo, Maggie, some other names that I can't say. let's just limit it to YouTubers, shall we? Oh dear. Chris will confirm that teenage gangs and knife crime has gone absolutely nuts here. Oh, that's Ross saying that. So that's in right. That's in Australia then. God, has it? Oh, didn't know that. Neil says knife crime is mad at the moment around by us. Stupid. Gone are the days where you used to have a fist fight and shake hands after. That's exactly how it used to be. That is exactly how it used to be. And that's not even an exaggeration. You would literally, you would settle your differences on the cobbles, on the street, and then you would shake hands and it would all be absolutely fine. You can't do that now. You'd be looking over your shoulder all the time because somebody's going to come and best wrap a baseball bat around your head. And at worst, you're going to get a bloody blade between your shoulder blades. You'd have to be a brave man to fight now, wouldn't you? When I was younger, I used to absolutely love a good dust-up. Really cleared the air and it was most enjoyable and good exercise. But I wouldn't do it now. I wouldn't dream of doing it now because, you know, oh, it's just gone mad. And I've got no idea what the answer is. If I was in charge of all of these things, I wouldn't know what to do about it either. To be honest, it's just, yeah, it's a really bad thing. I used to work doors. God, you wouldn't want to do that now, would you? I mean, I've got no idea what it's like working doors now, but when I look at people on the doors around Ripley, then, to be honest, a lot of the people who are on the doors, they don't look as if they can handle themselves. And as I understand it, now, correct me if I'm wrong here, back in my day, when you were on the door and something kicked off, then to all intents and purposes, it was a fight, and you just waded in, and you got them out, and that was that. As I understand it now, then you're not allowed to smack them around a bit. You have to do everything. You know, there's none of that, and so actually thinking about it. The club local to the restaurant, the guy who owns it is a customer, and he was telling me, oh, it's probably a year ago now, he was telling me that one of his doormen gave a guy a smack who thoroughly deserved it, and the next thing you know, he's under arrest and the police are involved. Bloody lunacy. So who'd work on a door now? You know, in order to do your job, then you're either going to be bloody arrested for GBH, or you're going to annoy the wrong person and get a bloody knife jabbed into you somewhere, or even worse, bloody a bullet lodged somewhere when it didn't ought to be lodged. Paul, I saw the Rover 25 fly past me the other day. Same green as mine. Felt like following it and ripping its wings off. Oh, right, okay. Yours a bit rotten. Oh, they're talking about football. I had to go in my sister's streetwise the other day, says Neil, and I still can't get over how well they drive. I've got to be honest, I love Barney. I absolutely love Barney to bits. It's fabulous. I still look at it when I've parked it up somewhere, especially when I park it at Sainsbury's and I go back out and I look at it and I think, what a great looking car. And every time I look at the back seat and the 4-seat arrangement, I think, oh, that's so cool. And yeah, I could fall for Barney in quite a long-term way, to be honest. Now, bear in mind that Barney isn't my card at the moment. Barney is a company card. But I'm already thinking that he should become my card and I should lose one of mine. Because he is just the perfect daily. And especially after Joseph was telling me that they are fewer and further between than I realised. Another reason why he should be a longer term member of the fleet. I could keep him as a daily and sell Brian Johnston when Brian is sorted, or I could have Brian back as my daily and keep Barney as a non-daily long-term fleet member and sell Shison, or I could just sell an internal organ and keep them all. Okay, we'll figure out a meeting place on the way, says Mustard. Okay, we can do that. Yeah, it does make sense. Doing 60 on the motorway, says James Wilson, is sensible. And you always think you're going to do it for decent economy, but then it feels like 70 is like 50 on the motorway. Oh, okay. Oh, I see, Skick. I see. Right. I'll give you a clue. What's my name? Well, yes, of course I know what your name is. Oh, that's who you... Oh, right. Well, we'd love to meet you, mate. We'd absolutely love to meet you. If we're, of course, you're that way, aren't you? So, yeah, absolutely. Anytime we're in your neck of the woods and we're not in a super rush to get off, we'd love to meet you. Both Mustard and I really, really appreciate all the support that you've given us both individually and together. I'm so sorry, I didn't realise you were talking about yourself. Skick and I chat by email, by the way, so and his email account is in his actual name rather than his YouTube name, obviously, so I did know what his name was, but I didn't think about it. Can anyone see my comments, says Steekolg? Yeah, I can. Joe can. Bad Books can. Ah, I see. Honest deck to his friends due to straightforward, honest ways. Fair enough. Now we know. Use it as a sales office, says Cheeseburger, talking about Roger Boaty, the caravan. Dailies, daily drivers. Well, that was the idea. I said that it would and should become our sales office, so that when the yard is transformed a bit and it's a thriving area for lovely cars that are being bought and sold, it would be somewhere to take people and we could sit them down, give them a nice cup of coffee and do the paperwork and whatnot in comfort, rather than, especially in winter, rather than having to have them outside in the freezing yard and whatnot. It makes perfect sense to me. I know that the workshop of Dirty Pants is there, but I mean, that's a workshop. It's not really a sociable place to take a friend or customer, whereas the caravan would be, and it's only a teeny tiny little caravan. Can't we get rid of one of the other sheds and keep it? It can be my Christmas present, or at least can we keep it until spring? If we could keep it until spring and then get rid of it, if you insist, then by next winter I might have become rich and famous and I can buy a camper van and I could come on a Monday in that and I wouldn't let you in. I'd make you stand outside in the snow and the rain while I luxuriated in the nice warm camper van and cooked Momo. We can cook Momo in the caravan. Right. If you let us keep the caravan and we put it down in that place where I think it should be, would be the perfect place for it, I will keep a regular supply of Momo and staff curry for the caravan. Yeah, I'm not above bribery and begging. God, look at the time. Talking of Momo and food, and oh, I've got Momo for lunch with Chris tomorrow. That'll be fun. And I'm hungry. Seems like a great idea that the caravan Boaty, says James. Oh, and Mustard says, let's rework this then. Neil says, I would, Paul, use it as a bit of a sales office and a place to do lunch and keep warm. James says, you don't realise how truly fine and very lovely and toasty a Rover 45 heater is until it's a cold day. The 25 heater is amazing too. Yeah, well, they are until the bloody heater control valve thing freezes or the cable freezes and it's stuck on cold like Shison was and like Michael Jackson is. Although they're not stuck on cold now, they'll go halfway, but they won't go fully warm. That's something that I need to sort out. Ben says, what Welsh wizardry is this? Live streaming on a Freitag? Yeah, on a Freitag, mein Herr. Wie geht es? Yeah, just on a whim, darlings. You know, to be honest, it's only time constraints. If it wasn't for time constraints, then I'd live stream literally every day and sometimes twice a day. I love it. I adore it. And I've kind of got time tonight because I was up quite early this morning, and before Joseph came, you know the place has been a bit of a shithole because I've not caught up after going away at the beginning of the week. So I blitzed it this morning. So when I got home tonight, I thought, well, I've not got much to do really. The daily diary kind of hasn't happened today. Barely recorded anything. So that's going to be a very easy one to put up and a very disappointing one for you guys, even more disappointing than usual. And not much else to do tonight. And I thought, well, I'm going to be sitting here. I'll sod it. I'll do a bloody live. Neil says, Boaty's going to be selling that toilet seat on eBay as a famous bog seat. What a good idea. Cheeseburger says, does mustard squat or sit? We need to know. Good question. Good question. You'd have to ask him. What I can tell you is that I've got a feminist toilet seat. In that, when you approach the doings, then the seat bit, it won't stay up. If you put it up and get your little chap out, then the seat will just come down like that. So the lavatory invites you to take the seated wee. And I've been a big fan of the seated wee for quite a while now. I'm a very tall man. My little tinkle is quite a long way from the ground. And I don't particularly like misplaced whittles. Now, if you sit down, it's got everything going for it. You can just, you don't have to worry about aiming or holding or anything like that. You just tuck it inside and let it do its thing. And you can read a Rover brochure while you're having a whittle, and there's no mess, and it's all very comfortable and very pleasant. Unless you've bleached the lavatory, not flushed it, and then sat down for your whittle, and your little tinkle comes up against a very heavily bleached surface, and then you will be in some discomfort for some period of time, so I'm told. And I do like a bleached lavatory, darlings. And fortunately, now I thought the good Mr. Lloyd would be a bit like me and have strange toilet syndrome and wouldn't feel comfortable using a strange toilet. But he seemed very comfortable in using mine. Unfortunately, I bog juiced it this morning while I was having a bit of a blitz around, not because Joseph was coming particularly, just because the place was a shithole and I needed to not only tidy up, I needed to clean, because I'll be honest with you, I don't have a cleaning woman anymore. I lost my cleaning woman. She was a nice cleaning woman, a lovely cleaning woman. Well, a lovely woman and a jolly good cleaner. Well, quite a good cleaner. And she worked, she did a few houses here in the village, and she worked part-time in the hospital. And then the hospital offered her a full-time job and she took it, and we all lost our woman that does. So I haven't got a cleaner. And you know, things do occasionally need cleaning, darlings. And today I got out my J-cloth and my, whatever it is, sprayy, bleachy thing, I don't know, my, whatever the hell it is, and I cleaned some things. And judging from the state of the water that came out when I wrung it out, they were well and truly overdue a clean. At least Borat hasn't visited yet. Boaty won't get that, says Ross. I do get that. I've seen Borat, and I know that he went to somebody's loo, came down with his poo in a bag and said, where do I put the S word? I don't get the madness about football in all seriousness, says James. People fighting, watching overpaid players kick a ball. These lot today need to learn from Sir Tom Finney, a proper footballer. Cheeseburger says, I'm not reading that out, Cheeseburger. Do you know, I can't remember all of the women that have used that toilet seat. Isn't that awful? There's been, I mean, I've been here 8 years, and when I was first here, the only female visitor was Maggie, and then there was Bernard, and then there was some more Maggie, and then there was some more Bernard, and then there was, and then there was Boo, and it was Boo for a long time, and then there was a period where there was a bit of traffic, to be perfectly honest, not all of which I can talk about. Anyway, bring back national service, says Ross. Oh dear. Yes, you're right, Skick. You're absolutely right. I mean, I will tell you a little story. I will tell. I'm not going to read that comment out. I will. Skick says cheeseburger mustard will stand, otherwise his would be under the water. And we were on a road trip. I honestly can't remember which one it is. And we stopped on a bridge. It was like a quiet road. And there was a bridge over a river, and we needed a wee, and there were no services or anything. And we stood there side by side, and we unzipped, or in my case, unbuttoned, because I'm a man that prefers a button fly. And Mustard probably didn't unzip. He was probably wearing his pajamas, so he probably just tugged these pajamas down. And we both popped our little chaps out and had a tinkle into the river. And I looked at Mustard and I said, oh God, this water's cold, isn't it? And he said, yeah, I'm quite surprised how deep it is. But there you are. Oh God, Ben. The Love Sausage versus the Beige Bomber in The Cold Kiss of the Porcelain Palais. That would be a brilliant title. I'm going to screenshot that. Oh dear. Oh dear. Sell Stigbürt, says Joe. Well, you told me to sell him and then you told me to keep him. But Stigbürt. Yeah, would Stigbürt be the one to sell? Interesting. Now, funnily enough, tomorrow was going to be Stigbürt Day when I sorted the ABS and the airbag light and swapped the stereo and booked the windscreen replacement. But Chris is coming now, and I didn't know that until I got home tonight, 10 minutes before the live stream. We set that up, and I had set aside tomorrow as Stigbürt Day. But maybe Stigbürt Day can be on Sunday. But should I sell Stigbürt? That is the question. My aim for Stigbürt, as you know, my darlings, on the first Monday of every month now, I'm going to be going to North Wales. Base myself at that lovely cheap hotel on the seafront in Rhyl. I've been reading reviews. It's open all year round. It's even and it's going to be even nicer over winter and near to Christmas somehow. So yeah, I'm going to commit to doing that, and it'd be lovely if some of you guys would like to meet up with me. I know Neil has suggested that he would like to come in December. That would be brilliant. First Monday in December. So I am going to keep doing that. That is going to become a definite community thing. And when I go on the first Monday in November, which I will book shortly, so make sure I get it at the super cheap price, I would like to do that in Stigbürt. So Stigbürt needs sorting out, and does he need selling? That's a question. But my aim is, my goal is that the road trip to North Wales next month, first Monday in November, whatever that date is, and I don't know, I want to do that in Stigbürt von Thündercock. I haven't had a proper road trip in Stigbürt other than collecting him from Telford. So I want to do that at least, definitely at least, because I do like that car. I do like that car very much, and I like it even more when I get the stereo swapped over for the for the one that came out of Dicka Dum Dum and is in there. It's a very nice stereo, and it'll be superb in Stigbürt. And Stigbürt has been kind of just abandoned a bit, and I feel bad about that. So I'm definitely going to get him sorted this week. He's got no MOT at the moment. I need to get the windscreen replaced, which I'll do through the insurance. It'll only cost me 75 quid. And then he needs to have an MOT. And then at some point, if it's still in my ownership, he needs to have his seat repaired. So I'm determined to make that happen. But should he be the one to sell? I don't know. Anyway, it's getting awfully late. We should talk about that another time. Cheeseburger says, Streetwise was a great looking car. Had one on courtesy when 75 was in for service back in the day. Let's not do politics, says Cheeseburger. I wasn't. Don't sell your liver, says Ross. One owner, very high mileage. Yeah, that's a bloody good point, actually. Couple of things about livers. I can't remember who it was, but a famous person said he wanted his liver to be bedded separately with full military honours. And the thing that I love is David Niven, the lovely David Niven, and Errol Flynn once shared a house, and it was a beach house in America, and they called it, fantastically, Cirrhosis by the Sea, and I thought that was great. Oh, and Cheeseburger says, Ross, that's a title. For sale, one Rover liver, high mileage but well lubricated. Don't sell Shison. He's a brilliant Stepspeed, says Joe. Okay, noted. Nice cup of coffee. Do you have milk? I do have milk, actually. I went to my neighbour and begged a small jug of milk today so that I could offer a beverage to... Look, here it is. So that I could offer a beverage to Joseph, and he doesn't have hot beverages, so he had Pepsi Max instead, and I'll save the milk in case Chris wants one tomorrow. You'll sell Roger Boaty for more in spring than autumn. That's true. The woman's quiet upstairs. I haven't got a woman upstairs tonight, I promise. I promise there is no woman here at Windy Bum tonight. If you keep the caravan, say Skik, spend some time in it and make it more presentable to customers, you're absolutely 100% right. 100% right. That caravan, I think that caravan is a bit like a Rover. I think it deserves a bit of love and attention. It's doing its best. It's kept itself damp free. It's kept itself dry. and we haven't given it much love at all. We've kind of abused it, and I think that we should carry through our MG Rover ethos to the caravan, and I think we should give that unloved caravan a lot of love and make it into a wonderful period thing. It's a mid-1980s Buccaneer, which is, if you didn't realise, it's a very prestigious brand, very prestigious, and it's just fallen into a little bit of disrepute, but it's still trying to be a wonderful thing, and I think that we should support it. I do. I don't have a heater, says Joe. Mine's stuck halfway and it's driving me nuts. Mine is too, Joe, on Shison. We need to learn how to do it and do each other's. Can you claim off your warranty? Diddly-doo. You are, Neil. Yes, you are. Yeah, you are in charge of doing all of the warranty work. Hang on. Oh, is your window still not working? Oh dear. Hang on. Oh, and Joe says, no, sell Stigbürt now as you've got the 45 V6. Oh, but then I wouldn't have a 75 or a ZT, and that would be something missing in the... That would be something missing in the lineup. If I did sell Stigbürt, then the thing I'd probably want to replace him with would be a ZTT. Diesel, automatic, a proper road trip car. I need to think about that. Anyway, it's getting late. Oh, it's getting really late. We'll talk about that another day. I'd say Stigbürt needs to go, says Neil. You've got 2 V6s, get yourself a ZTT diesel daily. Oh, I've just said exactly the same thing. First Monday's my wife's birthday, says Mustard. She'd love a trip to Wales. Let's meet. Well, that's why I said the first Monday. As it happens, I went on the first Monday in October. That was just sheer coincidence. And then you said there are some Mondays I can't do, and the first one was the first Monday in November, and that was when I got the idea. Because yeah, we can't do our Monday because it's your wife's birthday, and she told you that you'd better have the day off, otherwise you'll be proving that you love me more than you do her, which is quite amusing. But I mean, if you're in any way serious, then yeah. Take your family to Rill. Book one of those hotel rooms. You get all 4 of you in the same room. It'll cost you 33 quid, and we can have breakfast together. And you can, oh, and we could have a little late night drink and a live in my hotel room. We could have drinkies and a live. Oh, that'd be so much fun. Do it, Mustard, do it. Go on, do it. Tell your wife, darling, for your birthday, I've booked us all a night in a hotel at the seaside, and then just take them to the hotel in Rover. Good God, Boaty, what are you doing here? And then deal with the divorce later on. Oh, and Neil saying, Paul, let's do it, lad. I'll bring Soph and the lads can hit the town. Oh, well, that's it. We're all meeting up. No, seriously, first Monday of every month, I am going to do it, certainly through the winter. And so you all know what's happening. You know where it is. It's Rill. It's the seafront travel lodge in Rill. I'm going to be there first Monday of every month, and I would love any and all of you to join me. I think you should do MG decor inside the caravan. Good idea. Oh, and Skik says it was Richard Burton who said that about the liver being buried. And I think you're right, actually. I think you're right, Skik. I think I read that in Melvin Bragg's biography of him. Video title, Shison Only Goes Halfway. And a great unexpected live tonight. It has been great, hasn't it? I've really enjoyed it. I'm so glad I did this. Yes, get a ZTT diesel, says Joe. It wouldn't be a bad shout. I was thinking when I saw you guys in Neil's, I thought, I haven't really got a road trip car. I haven't really got an economical road trip car. I've got Boo, of course, but Boo's not a road trip car, permanent four-wheel drive, aerodynamic qualities of a wardrobe. And Boo is the only diesel I've got. A ZTT would make a lot more sense than Stigbürt. And as you say, I've got the 45 V6 now, which is a much, much rarer car. So turning Stigbürt into a diesel ZTT automatic would actually be a very sensible move, I think. But, oh, we can talk about that another day. The producer of Where Eagles Dare said Burton was doing up to 6 bottles of vodka a day. That might be pushing it a bit, but it wouldn't surprise me. He was certainly, you know, there was a long period where he was doing 2 or 3 bottles a day. And he had a very famous bet. When he was doing Camelot, the musical, starring opposite Julie Andrews, he had a bet with one of the other actors that he could drink a bottle of vodka during the performance and it wouldn't be noticeable. And Julie Andrews was the judge, but she didn't know she was going to be the judge. So Burton necked a bottle of vodka actually during the musical, you know, when he was off stage, but during the musical taking place. And he's got to sing and all sorts. And afterwards, they were in the dressing room having their after show what's it. And they went to Julie Andrews and Burton said, what do you think I was like tonight then, love? And Julie Andrews says, actually, you were a little better than usual. After he's necked a bottle of vodka. Dear me. Oh, don't apologise, Cheeseburger. We all love you. We all absolutely love you. Somebody was worried they'd upset you. You haven't offended anybody. And I agree with Skip. We do. We love you just the way you are. And yet, indeed, Mustard, imagine that surprise. But seriously, that would be so cool. That would be cool. We could just, you know, you could escape for half an hour and have a little drink with me in my room late night. We've never had an alcoholic drink together. So, and it would be, it might, you know, it'd be a good thing. You could, yeah. Anyway. He did, Barry. That's a very famous story. Where Eagles Dare with Peter O'Toole and Richard Harris. And for insurance purposes, they'd all had to swear off the booze while the filming was going on. And then Richard Harris very famously fell off the wagon and they all fell off with him. And they had absolutely... Darlings, it's really late. It's 1 o'clock in the morning. And I need to eat. I love a Friday Night Live, says Joe. I should do this more often. I've really enjoyed this. It's actually been, in a way, it's been more fun than all of the others, and it's unexpected as well. I can't believe we've gone on until 1 o'clock in the morning, sweethearts. And, oh yeah, if you want to tickle that like button, I've only got 9 of them. A few more wouldn't hurt. So, yeah, time to bugger off, darlings. Oh, I can do the, here we go. I'm all over this. Let me just whack the what's it up. Boom. There we go, darlings. Oh, Bill Werbeneck. Oh my God. Yeah, he did neck it. Do you remember that famous one where he was really stretching on a shot and he split his trousers in the middle of a live match? Oh, thank you so much, darlings. Thank you so much for your company. Thank you for turning up on this unexpected live. Thank you for making tonight brilliant. I'll see you very, very soon. Oh God, what's coming up? Chris is coming tomorrow. We're going to have lunch. I'll record something of it and it'll at least be on a daily diary, or possibly there'll be an actual lunch video. Oh God, it's late and I need to eat. Bugger off, go to bed, the lot of you. Thank you so much. It's been really good fun. And I'll see you, I'll see you very soon. I might do this again tomorrow night. You never bloody know, do you? All right, darlings, sleep tight. Have a safe and peaceful night. Have the best day that you can tomorrow. And take care of yourselves. Much love. Good night.